corrections on what was permissible and what was forbidden. Both suffered a spiritual death for their transgression. Eventually, both experienced physical death. Man belongs to him, and to him all praises are due. It will be a terrible thing to die not in the state of total submission to his will, forever wandering aimlessly in this life and the next.
Profess your faith, Christian, Catholic, Muslim, Jew. Did you choose it, or did it choose you? You're emulating others, you're regurgitating their words, and unlearned mind is simply absurd. He is the knower, sees all that you do. So don't be superficial, to thy own self be true. You came into this world alone, and so shall you go. A witness about your actions, there's no man to say it so. Free will he gave us, praise him to save us. No time to waste, just soon to chase. Free will he gave us, praise him to save us. No time to waste, just soon to chase. Yes, soon you taste. Yes, soon you'll taste. Yes, soon you'll taste. Life is a burden, is part of the test. Inconvenience yourself and see how you'll be blessed. You're a guided example, you're distinguished from all others. Treat them all with kindness, your sisters and your brothers. Be righteous, bow down to the merciful Lord. Trust that he will bless you with the most gracious reward. Being a disbeliever, you cannot afford. Remembrance is the only way to be on one accord. Free will he gave us, praise him to save us. No time to waste, just to the days. Free will he gave us,
what's going on,
praise him
girl?
to save us. No time to waste, just to the days.
We're going to get fired up and started in about 3 minutes. We had
Yes,
some
soon
technical
you'll
difficulties.
taste.
Facebook is switching up on some things.
Yes, soon you'll taste.
I don't know what happened.
Yes, soon you'll taste.
But anywho, give me a few minutes and I'll be right with you to start the show. In the meantime, you're checking out Lowly Ones from the LP entitled You Want to Be Me, which was my last released album. I'm working on some music this morning. Right after this show, I'm back in the lab. Hope to have a new release in about 2 weeks. Y'all stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Carol off proclaims man, materialistically converted. His riches amassed, but it's spiritually deserted. He searched for an answer, but he did it to himself. He's putting things before God, mistaking it all for wealth. Haughty and full of pride, your misdeeds you cannot hide. His punishment is swift, forgiveness he'll provide. Repent and mend yourself, declaring your untruth. Turn to the all-forgiven, for he's the living proof. Free will he gave us, praise him to save us. No time to waste, just soon days. Free will he gave us, praise him to save us. No time to waste, just soon days. Yes, soon you'll taste. Yes, soon you'll taste. Yes, soon you'll taste. place, being lonely is key. A servant to God, not without enemy. Spirituality is fine, you don't need religion. Love of the divine, not of man's division. Give honor and praise to the Most High, the most gracious, most merciful one, the go-to guy. Each day above ground, don't live in the past. Live into the fullest because it could be your last. Vengeance is mine, the Lord saith. His grace and mercy ain't nothing to play with. Free will He gave us, praise Him and save us. No time to waste, soon the days. Free will He gave us, praise Him and save us. No time to waste, soon the days. Yes, soon your days. Yes, soon your days. Yes, soon your days. What's going on, girl? Come here.
What's up, babe?
You gonna looking all pretty.
You see me? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get into something. What's up?
Must be a hot one tonight.
Trying to make a hot one with you up in for you. It's gonna be
yeah. It could be, but you know,
I'm gonna show you.
I didn't get what you doing.
Oh yeah.
I ain't no judgment here.
No, we ain't doing none of that.
I'm just saying I'm not in that mood. Like I'm doing, some different.
So what you doing different? Show me what you doing different. Put me up on there.
Girl,
I'm trying to be.
yeah.
It is what it is.
You in it.
Mm-hmm.
Right
I
now,
am.
you in it.
Oh, I'm gonna show you in a minute. I know you done heard about me.
Yeah.
You know my
But
name.
it's cool.
You know who I
You
am.
know how we ride.
How we ride.
I know about it.
Oh, you know.
I know who you are.
Oh yeah.
Things all around.
Oh, it
I
is.
never said that.
Oh, huh.
Okay.
What they saying?
All around town.
Okay. All right. What's up?
I heard about you. You got 3 state names. Getting cash from your friends. Slide up 7 campaigns. Your goal be included.
Like COVID, you're still finding pyrite and you're still being misled.
Your condition to believe that men always take your way.
Your ghetto glamour girl who's simply gone astray. You're looking for love, always finding it in faces. Fulfilling your dream to you, a good man is tasteless.
If you're coming at me, you better bring your A game. Because I could care less about your A-frame.
Just keep it moving along. If you want that fake fame, you gotta want to be boss.
To have my safe name. Your side in scripture.
On what a man is supposed to do. But you're always missing your guidance.
You say that you don't
Have a clue. Self-righteous indignation, imposer of pain.
You and your
3M slaughter character just the same.
calculated selection.
You gave them all your affections. Your attitude now rude. No good men did diary confession.
If you coming at me, you better bring your A game. Because I could care less about your A brain.
Just keep it moving along.
If you want that fake thing,
You gotta want to be boss.
to have my fake name.
You gotta want to be boss.
To have my fake name.
Girl, you gotta want to be boss. To have my safe name. Woo! Welcome to another episode of Daddy's Right Here Live. I'm your host, as always, Sabir Arlene. Part 2. Yeah, we're doing part 2 today. Worthy. How worthy are you? What is your worth? And how do you gauge your worth?
Of a man living in your home. Been now for many girls, you're living
All alone.
You're looking for daddy, still finding a headache. But his leadership only
By mistreatment patty. Dude's doing you real dirty.
is running your house. Is irresponsible and selfish.
And he has no attributes to spouse.
He's single-minded
And selfishly driven.
He wants to be in control.
He wants to change how you're living.
Unrightly guided.
Headed for disaster. You're giving honor and praise to God, but you won't let him master.
If you're coming at me,
Bring it.
you better bring your A game. Because I could care less about your A frame. Just keep it moving along. If you want that big thing,
Girl, you gotta want to be boss.
to have my fake name.
You gotta want to be boss.
To have my fake name.
Girl, you gotta want to be boss.
To have my fake name.
Just keep it moving along.
If you want that fake thing,
Yeah,
I could care less
keep it moving along.
about your
You know, and this song here, man, is like a timely one for today's subject, man. Yeah, last week we started the article on how to improve your self-worth and why it's important. And the article is by Sanjay Gupta. And you know, like people can go to a pawn shop and they can take an item there and they can tell the person how much they want, right? Whether it's a trade-in or whether it's an outright sale, you know before you get there, right, what you need. You done already did some research, so you know what you might be able to get to. So you've established a worth for that item, and you go ahead and you go to the pawn shop. Pawn shop dealer say what you're looking for, and you tell them how much you're looking for, and you kind of, you know, do some haggling, and you come to an agreement or disagreement. But whatever you've come to, you have already established what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept, right? The unfortunate part about relationships is a lot of times people enter into relationships with a mindset of, I'm not going to take this anymore from anyone. I'm not going to take that anymore from anyone. I've been through this, and the next person that comes along with these shenanigans, I'm just not falling for it. But then when the person comes along and they're your flavor, you fall for the banana in the tailpipe again. Right? And then you're sitting back, you're looking in the mirror, you're laying in the bed in the fetal position, wondering how the hell did I get here again? Yeah, I do. It's a show. If you want to check it out, How Did I Get Here? It's a show. I did like 2 years ago. That's the title of the show. How did I get here? But you're asking yourself that again. How did I get here? How did I put myself in a position to be with the same person
This is a different face. We all do it. We all have done it. That's what we're attracted to. What's attracted to us, right, is attracted to us for the very reasons that we are attracted to them. The same people, right? You know, you have those of us who are caretakers, who are healers, right? Who attract the sick. Yeah. The unhealed. The ones who are dragging the baggage along. Right? The ones who walk around with the wounded look in their eyes. And, you know, I want to get on my horse and I want to be the white knight and I want to save the damsel in distress because I'm a healer. The problem with being a healer is we often wind up being the severely wounded. Unbeknownst to us, I'm sorry, my eyes are watering. It's a difficult subject matter today. No, my eyes always water. We become the severely wounded. Yeah. We get stepped on, trampled on, kicked, picked back up, hugged, kissed, misguided, misled, and thrown back down again to be trampled on all over again. That's what happens when you have a healing spirit, right? So we have to find the balance with what we're going to accept and not accept. And I've come to learn throughout the years for marriages that I can't take a person from a place they want to be. You can't change anybody. You can't sex it away. So sexual healing, it's a great song. Thank you, Marvin, for bringing it to us. It don't work. It's putting a Band-Aid on the bullet wound. If a person is in a place that they don't want to be, and they're saying to you, I don't want to be here, and they're not actually working at that time, run. Because you're going to spend your life with them trying to help them heal. Trying to help them heal. Right? You need to understand that. That's where they want to be. And I don't care what anybody says. When people say that it's not right for me and it's not correct for me to say a person wants to be where they are, yes, you do. You have a choice. Pain comes in life. Suffering is an option that you choose to hold on to. There's always options. Suffering is optional. See, a lot of people think because they walk away from a circumstance, right, that's the end of it. Oh, that's always great until you see that person again. I don't care how funky it got in the end. You got together for a period of time, no matter how short or how long. You got together for a period of time of goodness. And it was south for whatever reason. For whatever reason. So until you heal from the funk, right, you're not going to move forward in your own life. They're hunky-dory. They're with somebody else. They moved on. They walk by you and smile. Hey, how you doing? Like nothing ever happened because they've made that choice to move forward. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You want me to be miserable until you're happy? That's not going to happen. But at the end of the day, we have full control over what we accept from other people. There's things we accept from our employers that we won't accept from our wives or husbands. There's things we accept from our children that we won't accept from other children. You have to look for all of these things because why are you being inconsistent? Why are you accepting this from this person, but not from that person? See, this is where the values conflicts come in, and we talked about this last week. You have to be consistent within yourself about your actions, because the fight often comes into play when you have to make a decision how you're going to address this person about the same issue you address that person with, but you use a different set of values, a different set of beliefs, and now this person gets a different treatment, and you're wondering why this person is questioning you on how come that situation is different from this one with me. You're inconsistent. And for me, I'm very observant of people's behavior. And when I see you do something different with me that you did with from what you did with another person, I'm going to question. Not necessarily to you. If need be, I will, but within myself. Because everything doesn't have to be said. When you see somebody's hand, you don't have to always question them on. You don't always have to challenge them on it. They know what their hand looks like. They've seen both sides. You don't have to bring it to their intention. No, their attention, not intention. The intention is in the hand, but walk away. Just walk away. It never has to be anything said about that behavior. When people try to lead you to believe that, oh, I didn't realize, and well, there are conscious and there are unconscious behaviors, but something happening's up here in the thought first before you act. So don't never believe that a person is unaware. It's unaware because they're very aware. They may not know the core of the difficulty, but they know that they just said or did something that was offending, that was defending, because maybe they felt like they needed to defend themselves. But they did it. They may not realize how fluid that behavior is when faced with certain circumstances, when they're triggered, but they know they did it. They know they did it. But it's up to you to determine within yourself what you value most. And I can tell you, I'm on social media primarily for the purpose of business, developing relationships with people, maintaining and retaining relationships with people, as a human being. You don't really see much personal stuff on my feed because it's just none of people's business. If you want to know, you should have my number. You should be calling me. We should be talking. I don't have to tell you anything. Period. I'm not the fraud on the other side of the name that's posted on my social media page. It's nothing fraudulent about me. And if you ever meet me in person or you know me, you know that's not who I am. So if my conversation with you is short, it's a good chance I ain't messing with you. Yeah, no. And not because of a dislike for you, but a dislike for behavior. Right? Because if you trigger something within me, right, because of something that I've seen you do, right, then I have a responsibility to get myself out of that arena. That's my responsibility. In the work environment, it's a little different because, you have a different responsibility. It's called leadership. It's not called boss. We have that confused. We have a lot of people who got boss hanging around their neck and everybody wants to be boss. I don't want to be boss. I've been a leader most of my career. It's about leadership. So you say, well, I'm a little confused because a few minutes ago you said, well, about consistency and how you treat this person. But now you're saying that there's a set of responsibilities that you have as a supervisor, right? Your values and beliefs don't change, but there are guidelines. There are employee rules. There are policies and procedures that have to be upheld when you're in a role of leadership. I had one of the counselors that worked under me some years back said to me like, he said like I don't understand. He said you can fire somebody and walk them downstairs to the truck and get them a cup of coffee and walk them to their car. Hey man, it's not personal. See, that's the value. That's the belief. That's mine. I didn't fire you. I did my job. You fired yourself in your actions. I'm gonna do my job. See, that's what has to be understood here. I love you. I wish you well. You ain't gonna work here. You can't just violate policy and procedure, go unchecked. And no, you'll be checked according to policy and procedure. I'll take you through the coaching phase. I'll take you through the retrain phase. I'll take you through all those things. Yeah, absolutely. But what are we mad at each other for? Well, I don't have any reason to be mad at you. You shouldn't be mad at me. You saw your conduct. Your conduct was spoken to, and you continued to do it. Therefore, you got fired. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. So I'm still being consistent. My values haven't changed. My value, it would be said that my values changed if I allowed you to keep doing it. I allowed myself to continue to be called into my boss's office to speak to something that you continue to do that I am in control of correcting. Right? That's a conflict for me. That's a conflict for me. You don't have to yell and scream at anybody about anything. Mr. Johnson, we spoke numerous times about your tardiness, right? I've changed your schedule. I've listened to you. I've made whatever adjustments that were reasonable, and you still continue to. That's leaving other responsibilities on other people who already have established duties for the day. They have to. Or the client continues to suffer because you're late. Nobody knew you weren't going to show up. So we had to alter the workplace to accommodate you. And we can't continue to do that. You got to understand when you're putting a Band-Aid on the bullet wound, what that looks like. It continues to seep. It doesn't heal. I don't care if the bullet went straight through or if it's still in it. That's the internal effect. Just like there's an internal effect when you continue to lessen, dumb down your values and your beliefs to appease something else that you desire to have. And something that desires to have you, but may not even want you in the same capacity. Looks good, feels good, maybe even tastes good. Don't make it good. Right? I've had some of the most horrid flavors in my mouth, and they were for my good. They were for my good. So everything that's good for you don't necessarily taste good. Ain't always gonna feel good. Right? We need to get past that part. Right? So it's always a matter of understanding and knowing your value. But consistency is key to all of this. Like I don't do wishy-washy. I don't do sometime. I am always moody. It's the Libra in me. I'm just, I observe everything that everybody that people do, not over analytical. I observe. At some point, I begin to overanalyze things where it's already been established what is. It's good or it's bad. It's like it's real good. It's good, either it's good or bad. Like real good. What does real good mean as opposed to good? Well, I mean, it's good. Well, that's just two goods. Is it too good to be true? Or is it just good? Right? It's just good. Real good doesn't make it better. It really doesn't. So when you're looking at a value system, you have to look at the origination of the thinking. We talked all about that last week. I'm just going to go to this quote, and then we're going to just go to the other part of the article where we left off. It's important to have self-worth to the article because it impacts everything you do, from your relationships to how you work, how you feel about yourself, and how others view you. I hear all of that. All that. That's just in one sentence. In one sentence, and it nipped it all in the bud. It's important to have self-worth because it impacts everything you do, from relationships to how you work, how you feel about yourself, and how others view you. Yes, people will come to their own conclusion as to what they think about you. They're going to do that. They're going to do that. That's just the reality of what they do, right? It doesn't matter, but it does. You have to understand that there's a role that you play in the how others view you, and ask the question. So why does he see me like that? Because sometimes, and again, conscious and unconscious, you know what you do. You don't necessarily know the core of it, but I know when people are annoying to me, that I can become crass, right? And that they view me as such. They don't look at the bad behavior of themselves. They look at your reaction to their bad behaviors because that's what's important to them. It's not about what they did. It's about what you said or did to them that makes them see you the way they do. And that's fine. I'm good with that. So that's the part that you have to understand, that others view you based on their interactions with you and or what somebody else has said about you. If somebody else has said it, that person who got the gossip looks for it. If they see any inkling of it, yep, inconclusively, that's him. But the most important part that you need to understand is that you are seen by a person by the way you interact with them, right? In most cases, we're not talking about the gossip kind of stuff. We're talking about the interaction that you actually have with the person and how you react to particular behaviors. I'm not really good with a theatrics, and I always tell staff that we nope, we won't do it this way, and that's anybody. But I know that about me. I don't do theatrics. I don't do well with theatrics, and you'll see it on my face. I will not try to conceal it. When you come with that old rah-rah stuff, folks I deal with in treatment and in the prisons. Hey, hold on. Mr. Johnson, I want to hear what you have to say. And I'm sure we can have a heartfelt, great, wonderful, therapeutic conversation. But you will not raise your voice to me and talk that old gangster stuff. That's not how we're going to communicate. All right? So I'm going to help you, but I need you to take it down a notch. I told the staff person that one time before because he was being loud and obnoxious. And, I'm usually, I whispered down to him because we were walking through a hallway with, group of other inmates who were there for a medical appointment. He's being all loud and, can you open this door? I know you have the key. It's number such and such. And I just looked at him, and he was walking towards me, and I turned him around, going back towards the door, and I said, "Yo, I need you to take it down a notch." And he looked at me like, "How dare you?" Yeah, do you know who I am? And again, we talked about this in the first show, like you don't know who I am. For you gonna tell me to take it down? Like, yeah. And I said, then you out here all loud with the yelling out the number of the key. What if somebody gets a handle of a set of keys? Now they know what number key to look for this door. Oh, he would just beside himself. He just was like real theatrical. I got to the door. He stepped back and let me, all this other stuff. Thank you, sir. And I was like, dude, it ain't even like that. But like that, you can't approach everybody like that. Everybody's not going to be real receptive to that kind of behavior. And Requiem for a Dream, 95. What's happening? So it's just you have to take ownership. And this is where the growth comes in because if you know that this person is annoying and you know that you react or respond to annoyance in this capacity, you have to understand that that's why that relationship is the way it is. Can you do something different with that? They're annoying. So you need to work on how you really, confront annoyance. Is this worth is this relationship worth that? Because some relationships are valuable. And sometimes we destroy these relationships because of how we reacted to something that we disliked about a person's behavior. But instead of us taking ownership for how we respond to disliking a behavior, we'd rather leave it to the person who just acted out that way to change. You need to change that. Man, no, they don't have to change that. They're going to be that way for the rest of their lives. How then? What policies and procedures exist in life that establish how this is to be dealt with? Because I'm going to do it again. You're going to annoy me again. And depending what day it is and what's happening in my day, I might react the same way. I'm going to continue to work on it because that's something that I need to change because, first of all, I need to change that. I need to improve. I need to get some more pro-social skills because that's an anti-social behavior and acting that way. I just have to understand that this is an area that I'm going to work on. And you can only work on what presents itself. Like, don't go looking for stuff, right? Work on what presents itself because they're easier. They're right in front of you. You're thinking about it. You're feeling. Now's the time to work on that behavior. Sure, easier said than done, but I'm just telling you, people overwhelm themselves trying to work on stuff that ain't even presenting right now. And then the stuff that's presenting doesn't get dealt with, which means it just manifests into something else, because you're fighting within yourself. You're fighting within yourself and don't realize where the fight is, and you begin to start these external conflicts and confrontations. And the fight is really within you. People are going to be who they're going to be. They have a right to be who they're going to be. I have a right to be who I'm going to be. I have a right to accept or not accept your conduct, hence the reason for multiple marriages. Listen, we going to work. We going to work. We going to work. We going to work. If we ain't working, it ain't going to work, and I'm going to move on. No ill feelings. I'm going to move on because I can't live in this condition. I'm seeking peace, solitude, safety. That's what I'm seeking, to be in my home. And some run away with, see, then here's what you got to listen. Oh, what, so it's my home. That's part of the problem because you saying my home. Listen, I'm the king of my castle, first and foremost. So if that's the response that you have to look at what role you play in your home. See, I'm the king. I earned it. I represent that role. Therefore, I can say my home to my queen. Why? Because my queen knows where I stand. That's why she's my queen. We understand I'm king, she's queen. What does that mean to us in our roles in this home? All right. Again, another learning curve that you need to take a look at. Because there's a lot out there who don't want to submit because of the statements such as that. It's not being anything other than true. I am the king. Therefore, I have the final say. Yes, we have discussion. I have the final say, and my say has to be trusted. And if it's not trusted, then we don't need to be together. Because you should trust me to make decisions based on what's best for the family, not what's best for me. Because if I'm making decisions based on what's best for me, then my queen will check that, as she should. So when you have that role, you say mine, because it is my house, because it is my kingdom, because it is my crown that I'm defending, that I'm upholding. And when I stop doing those things, then I lose that crown. I go back to prince duties because I'm no longer qualified to be in the position of king. But that's a whole nother discussion. So, anywho, let's go back to the article, right? I think we were going right down to, so we talked about factors that influence self-worth. We talked about core beliefs and values, thoughts and feelings, emotions and mental well-being, right? And if you don't have those things, on your list, your to-do list, put it on your list today. Gauging your self-worth. We talked about some of the things like how much do you like, respect, and value yourself? Which words would you use to describe yourself to a stranger? As opposed to, you know who I am? Why don't you tell me? All right. Importance of self-worth, right? So the benefits of, positive self-worth. We went over that. Potential pitfalls of low self-worth. We talked about that as well. Strategies to improve your self-worth. Do things. We're going to go right there because that's I believe that's where we left off. So strategies to improve your self-worth. Do things you enjoy and are good at. Right? Excuse me. So do things you enjoy and are good at. Think about what it is you do every day. Let's base it on a 7-day cycle. 7 days. Where in those 7 days did you do something that you enjoy and are good at, other than eating? It's a joke. It's a joke. Other than your job, because your job is your job. I love my job. Did it for 30 years, right? Enjoyed it. Enjoyed the meaning of that part of my purpose. Yeah. But the article says getting good at something and enjoying it can provide positive reinforcement and feelings of proficiency and capability. Having regular reminders of your talents, strengths, and abilities can help make you more confident in other areas of your life as well. So the sentence began with getting good at something and enjoying it. Right? Getting good at it. For me, and this is where some beg to differ, and in the past it's been a conflict within my marriage. Marriage is, I think it was like something that was like that became an issue in two out of the four. What I'm doing now, I'm not getting paid for this monetarily, right? I enjoy doing this. I believe that I am very proficient in it. I started Daddy's Right Here in the nonprofit in 2006. It was hinged off of my thesis project while I was attending Lincoln University's Master of Human Services program. And from that point forward, I began to do uh, community events behind the podium, doing a lot of public speaking, doing a lot of interacting with other people, had public speaking class, um, did research for my theses, but continued research after that. Each job I had, I learned policy and procedure. I learned the employee handbook. Um, I started doing videos. I used to pay somebody to come and videotape the event. Then I started doing it myself. I started editing my own videos. Yeah, I started doing all that. I started learning how to use different techniques when, doing the videos. Um, the foundation of my becoming an author happened when I did my thesis project. Right, the rights, the rewrites, and all those things, the research and certain information needing to be in content, those kind of things. So I self-published my first book, Code Black, which you can find on Amazon. Book is $5, and this book I published this book in 2013, and everything that's in that book is very relevant today. It's very relevant today, and it will always remain relevant because of its content. Code Black. You can see the trailer for the book on my YouTube educational station, my Sabir Aleem educational station on YouTube. Um, so it's things like that. I'm going to write a book, so let me do a trailer. I never heard of anybody doing a trailer for a book. Yeah, so I sat down and I did some positive self talk, and I did it outwardly on the book, talking about the book, and I went back and I edited so it was down to a certain time frame. So learning to speak, take out the fluff, go right to the point with something else that I learned. Again, something that I got good at. I enjoy it. So I learned how to edit it, right? Again, things I learned from writing the theses. 120 words in a paragraph, 90 words in a paragraph. Let's go. Chop it down, right to the point, right to the point, right to the point, right? So I started doing that in videos. Then I started doing, I authored the book. Then I did my first film. Yeah. Because I learned the video process. I learned video recording. I learned video editing. So then I made self-published my first film, Words from the Wise, the Fatherhood Chronicles, right? Where I co-facilitated a fatherhood class in West Philadelphia with brother Joel Austin of Daddy University. And, you know, filmed the class, filmed the one of our sessions, and took it, edited it, did some interviews with some professionals in the field, edited it, and self-published. So you can find that on my Sabir Aleem educational station on YouTube. Yeah. And it kept on going from there. Then I liked animation, so I started doing some animated stuff, and I did an animated piece of a poem with the animated figure, doing the poem, reciting the poem, and all the hand motions and everything like that. I took that and I brought out another film. My film, Why Are You My Ex? So Why Are You My Ex was one I did. It's a short film. You can also find it on my educational station. It's a short film I did. And then behind that, I did Why Are You My Ex 2? And in that film, I also integrated the animated character into the film. Yeah, so you have a live part and then you have an animated part, and it's all into the film. So that's Why Are You My X2? That can be found on my Severely Educational Station on YouTube. Um, then I started doing I think 2006, 2007, somewhere, and I started doing online thing. It may be a little later, because I was at some point I was editing what I was doing from somebody else's video. Well, anyway, I'm saying all this to say that what I do today, even with music, I worked around entertainment for some years when I, up in Philly, stage lighting. I learned how to do board mixing from Jamaluddin Takuma. I learned how to do lighting stuff. I was doing stage setup, sound. I learned, public relations and promotions of local entertainment in Philly. So I was doing all those things. I was all up and down all the spots in South Street. So I learned about the whole club dynamics, Grindel's Lair, Khyber Pass, whatever spots were there in New York at CBGB's, Danceteria, Baltimore at the power plant that used to be there at the end of the harbor, where you said, so I was around all those things. So again, all of these things I love and I enjoy. I was becoming more and more proficient with public speaking, with interacting with the public, but I also learned about music, so as a result, I have a 24 track studio in my home. And when I do my own music, I mix my own music. Yep, I create the beats, I mix it myself, I do all the vocals myself, I do everything myself, and I took the time to learn it, and I'm still learning. It's still so much about this board that I don't remember because I was getting crash courses, but I remembered. So I went and bought the Tascam, because this is what I started on. Then he, expanded and got a larger board, but I learned how to use it. I learned how to, so with so many more things that I still have to do. But again, it says getting good at it and enjoying it. I was paying somebody to mix and master my stuff, and it wasn't coming out the way I wanted it. And still it's not coming out the way I wanted it, but I'm not paying somebody. I'm still getting closer to where it is I want my music to be. But I don't have to pay anybody, right? Because I'm disappointed. Listen, to pay somebody for disappointment doesn't make sense. So I started doing it myself. I'm saying all this to get good at it. You have to do it. You have to work at it. You have to spend time doing it, right? Having regular reminders of your talents, right? You remind yourself. Like my music is on all the music streaming platforms. Anyone that you're on, you can find my music. Severe Lean, Poetic Peace, You Want to Be Me. The music is on at any station you want to go to. That's a reminder for me. It's a reminder for me, of what it is that I do. I listen to my own music because that's how we're improved. It's not about being arrogant and how listen. I need to improve. So, the way I improve, I listen to things. I'm not a singer. I'm not a rapper. But I'm making it happen, right? And I'm improving. I'm getting better at certain tempos and tones and things of that nature. But find something and get good at it. Get good at it. Substance abuse treatment, mental health treatment. I've been doing it 30 years. I can tell you everything about the field. I can tell you the physiological, the psychological, the sociological. You want to know? Let's have the conversation. Right? That's why I do these shows. Again, I've been doing it 30 years. Why would I not take personal experience with fatherhood, research from my thesis project, and build on it? And this is why I do the shows. The same thing. When I do articles, right, most of the time I just glance at it, see if it's something I want to roll with, and roll with it. I don't sit down and research the content. I don't sit down and study. So I have aha moments just like you do during the course of the show. I'm learning. This This show is for me too. It's not just for you. So it's like my therapy with you, right? Because I'm learning these things too. So don't get it twisted, right? I just sit down and study this article. I said, what's on my spirit today? What's on my spirit this week? This is what I want to talk about, right? The next bullet item, we're talking about strategies to improve your self-worth. Exercise and challenge yourself. Now, this is one of my most inconsistent areas, because when you fall off from working out, I don't know about y'all, but I fall all the way off, right? And it's hard getting back, depending on what's happening between the time you fell off and now, because exercise is not physical. The act itself is, but having an exercise routine, weight loss program, dieting, those things, they're hard. It's not physical. It's mental. It's mental. I have the blender downstairs. I have the frozen food. I have the protein powder. Hell, I've had to throw out a couple of large containers of protein powder because the damn thing's expired. But exercise, right? So I'm gradually getting back into my routine. I've got my bands. I start pulling on my bands. I started watching some stuff in my feed, on, working out, especially for, being over 60, making sure that it's things that I'm doing to keep that, going on. So, but it's hard. And it says exercise and challenge yourself. So what it says is research shows us that physical activity is linked to a greater sense of self-worth, including moderate strain on your body and striving towards increasingly advanced goals each time gives you tangible proof that you are capable of more than you thought. Exercise also recalibrates your mindset and offers both physical and mental benefits. Absolutely. I'm a person who deals with anxiety and depression. And I can tell you that a regular exercise routine greatly decreases, my instances of falling into a deep depression or having panic attacks. It's a mood disorder. It's not a thought disorder. So, anxiety is not. It's all based on a mood, and I can be sitting here right now talking to you, and all of a sudden I get this surge of energy. It just surges and it makes you uncomfortable. So when you have things in place, such as an exercise routine, right? It's something you're looking towards. You know that I'm going to do this on Saturdays. I put in longer steps. I may do 5, 6, 7 miles, or more, depending on where I'm at. I'll just put a movie on, just go for a walk. But it's important. But challenging yourself is important as well. I remember on a seated press working up to I think 365, or something like that on the seated press, and I was and I said, nah. I was loading plates up. I was just loading them up. And this was years ago. I haven't done it in probably about 3 years, about 4 years since I pushed that much. But it wasn't physical. It was in my mind, man. I put it there. And the first time I did it because it was like a bunch of young boys. They was in there flexing and they were like in the area. And I'm sitting there pushing and I'm pushing. I forgot I got like the 2 something. And I said, well, let me try these plates here. So like I had like 45, 90, 180, 360. So it was actually 360 because I had 4 45-pound plates on each side. Right. And I was pretty much, on average working with 3 of them. And this day I was feeling myself. and I put them on there, and I just braced myself, and it just took everything in me. It was in my mind, and I was pushing. I felt myself actually pushing with my mind. So it challenge yourself, right? Challenge yourself. I like heavy, and I had to get away from heavy. Um, because after a while, heavy, has some long-term effects. And when you're in your 60s like me, if you haven't been doing it on a regular basis, trying to regroup mentally and get back in, it's not a good idea. I don't need to do heavy. But that's how I got my size. So like right now, I jump in and I kind of poof real quick. But it's important, for your physical well-being, because trips, falls, and things of that nature. Just lifting some of the smallest things sometimes can make you, but it does a lot for you. Like when you're walking, you feel the firmness, and you feel tone. You just feel, you feel energized because it changes your energy level. It keeps the flow going within your energy level. It's good for your spirit. When your body is doing something, it's purging itself. A walk around the block a few times, and don't listen to anything but the birds. Listen to the nature around you. Or if you got to put some headphones on, put something on that's not talking, that's not giving you thought. In the sense that it's a structured thought. And listening to somebody talk, listening to the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, whatever it may be. Put some headphones on and just put some. I love the water. I live like 12 minutes from the beach here. But I like water, so like I like to listen to rain at night when I'm trying to sleep, or a trickling creek, something of that nature. I put that on and just walk, quiet the mind. Just go for a walk. Quiet the mind, challenge yourself, push yourself to listen to it, right? And after a while, you'll start hearing it, and you'll be so in touch, with that natural sound that everything else around you seems to be, you're just oblivious to it. It doesn't, But it's important that you do it and push yourself. Push yourself. Once you get back into the routine, constantly push yourself. See, getting off, man, is like anyway. So, challenge negative thoughts is the next bullet tonight. Remember that thoughts are not facts. In fact, most of the time, they are distortions caused by internalized critics, stress, and situational demands. Next time you have a negative self thought, think of an alternative, realistic thought to replace it. So, when you want to change something, when you want to stop doing something, you have to have something to replace it with. A lot of times people stop doing things, but they don't have a replacement for it. Hence the reason why they go back or resume with that same issue, right? So if you're going to get rid of a negative thought that you have about yourself, find something that's the opposite, right? Find something that's the opposite. For instance, this says here, let's go, let me see if I can do it here. Distortions, right? So you look at distortions, and if you put it in the word, I want to give you an example because I want you to be able to understand. I want you to be able to understand what this actually would look like. So, for instance, I've taken the word. What do you say? I've taken the word grows and grows. So when you go to word the grows, and then it has, it doesn't have synonyms because it's, hold on, bear with me. I like to walk people through things. So if I'm asking you to do something, you don't just go to it and say, "Well, I don't know what you're talking about." All right. So I took the word grows, and I took the word grows, and I just put it on a blank Word document, and I clicked on synonyms. So grows, develops, grow up, spreads, raises, produces, right? So it grows, right? So grows if you don't want to grow, right? We know now that grows means to develop, it means to grow up, it means to spread, it means to raise, it means to produce. So if you're not growing, what's happening? You're not producing, you're not developing, you're not growing up, you're not spreading, right? You're not doing any of those things. So if you want to grow, right, you want to look at what's keeping you from growing. You follow what I'm saying here? So when in the article where it talks about a nest for seeking support, and the points where it talks, so remember that thoughts are not facts. So if negative thinking is the issue, what is the thought about the thing? You understand? So I know that anxiety and depression are mood disorders. So the resolve for that is to first and foremost make sure I'm taking my medication. That's the first thing, right? Because whenever it shows up, negative intrusive thoughts happen, right? When I start feeling anxious or when my depression wants to show up. So I take the medication to keep myself from experiencing an intense level of those moods when they come, right? I also know what the previous one said, that exercise, right, changes that. So that's why I can always tell when I'm feeling subpar. It's usually, what, did you take your medication? Have you been exercising? Have you been eating? I look at all those things. So it's saying challenge negative thoughts. Next time you have a negative self thought, think of an alternative, realistic thought to replace it. So a negative self thought. So when you're depressed, you have negative thoughts. Oh man, like for instance, I just recently retired, and I'm doing a lean for you. Yeah, lean. Go to the website alimforyou.com. That's ALIM, the number 4 u.com, and also .net, because that's going to be the new home. But so I retired, right? And scared to death, right? Embarking upon this LLC, pushing for grants for Daddies Right Here Incorporated. I'll be putting out some feelers for fundraising, so I can try to get a building here in Florida. The video that I did for the campus was done 4 years ago, but I have been working on it for years. But now I have an actual diagram of what I want Daddies Right Here's campus to look like. So it's Daddies Right Here, Daddies Right Here Family Visitation and Education Center. All kind of services. It's like a getaway for families, especially for dads and their child, especially just it's a getaway. It's pond. It's got fishing, horses, farm. Out in the wooded areas of Florida. But it's just. But the whole thing is outlined, but it's a matter of when I retired, I said, I'm going to push on both of these things, and like it's a lot to do. You don't just jump on Shopify or something like that and just start like putting product on there and start selling. There's work to be done. Got everybody coming at you. Everybody want to, provide this service, but everybody wants your money. I'm trying to make money. And here you want to tell me, well, I can help you make more money. And right. And nothing is a guarantee. So you got to research those things. You got to research what it is they're saying that they can do, and research and do it yourself. As opposed to keep paying, because everybody comes at you. I'm telling you, as soon as I pop the site on there, I got all these inboxes from all these people who we can improve your SEOs, we can improve your traffic, we can do this. Can we talk? I had to tell one brother, I said, listen, that aggressive sales thing doesn't work for everybody. I'm just starting out. I want to peruse, what options and opportunities I have. I want to learn. So thank you, for reaching out. He responded back with some slick stuff of, well, this is one of the first mistakes. I said, that works for some people, but it doesn't work for me. And that's just not the approach to take, right? You let me know what it is that you do, what you have to offer, and when I'm ready. Right? If you know about business, when I'm ready, I'll reach out to you. But you're gonna keep on inboxing me all these messages. You're just gonna annoy me, and I told y'all how I act when I'm annoyed. But anyway, it's like it's been a transition, and I start feeling like, oh well, you're never going to make it. This isn't going to grow. It's been a whole month now, and you haven't even gotten one sale there. It is so much to do. But then I remind myself is that I'm learning, because it goes back to the other point, right? Of learning, challenging yourself and becoming proficient. And that's how I've done everything else. So you have to become proficient. So when they come knocking, when the wolves come knocking, you know how to deal with it, right? You won't have a knee-jerk reaction, start putting money here, money there, money here, money there. No. I already had somebody who I dealt with a couple of years back who helped me with my YouTube educational station. I would go back to him because he knows what he's doing, because he got done what needed to get done when I asked him to. So I already have somebody. So when you want to try to be that new person on the block, then I can bring you to this place. You got to come right, because I already have somebody who I trust, right? But it's like, it's days, man, where I'll be like, but then I tell myself again, I say, you've come too far. You put in a lot of work. Don't give up on this now and switch gears. Stay with this. And I've been staying with it. I've been, setting this up and setting that up, reaching out here, reaching out there. And because that's another part, reaching out. Yeah, you can do things yourself, but you still need guidance. So I have to remind myself that, yeah, you're pretty smart. You catch on pretty fast, but get some guidance. So you have so many Facebook pages where they do this kind of stuff, where you just post on it. Hey, listen, I'm doing such and such. And how do you actually do such and such? I don't have to pay somebody. It's people on these pages who are willing to help. Sublimation. I got a whole office room full of. I've got DTF printer. I got sublimation printer. I got a sublimation joint. I got like 12 attachments. I got a heat press. I got a engraver. I got a vinyl stench. What else? I mean, stuff. So it's like a lot of these things, like we're doing. And I'm like, I don't, so we got a question. So when the things come up, wife said, this is such as a babe. I don't know. Post it on the page. And we get answers. Right? And you got to stay with that kind of stuff. That's why you got to get away from people, man, who don't influence positivity. Because all you need is a window of sadness, of despair, of negativity. Just a window that turns into a damn doorway, right? So get away from them people, man. Pick up the phone, do something else, have something else to replace that negative thought, right? Because you're worth it. You're worth it. We are almost at the hour. We got to start a little late, so challenge, seek support. right? You can see a therapist. I was just talking about that. You can see a therapist for self worth if you notice that it's constricting the quality of your functioning in your relationships, work, or emotional well being, right? Having low self worth can be like living life through restricted blinders. Sometimes complacency with this restriction grows, and people believe they're not worthy of more. In these instances, the perspective of a neutral, trained professional can be very effective. Yeah. So, the first thing you want to look at is the circle. My circle is very, very, very small. I like it that way. Me, the wife, and kids. That's my circle. I don't. So I rely heavily upon her. She relies heavily upon me. That's where it should be. But there are people who I have, taken hostage as mentors. They don't know. There's people who I follow, who I admire. There's people who I do have conversations with and ask questions. But you got to have that support. You got to have support, man. I do. I'm me. I love being by myself. I love being around people for the moment. I love being by myself. So I reach out, and when you have difficulty asking for help and you use social media for that very fact, it's easy. Most companies have online chat. So when I have questions about certain equipment and things of that nature, I use the chat. They don't know me. But there's the answer. Thanks. So I use that. So I learned to use these kind of things. A lot of times when you're dealing with bill collectors, you don't want to talk to these people on the phone. Just send me an email, send me a text, or let's chat. Because I get annoyed by shenanigans. I called you for one thing, and you want to start having a conversation about, well, Mr. Lane, we also offer this. And, sir, all I want to know is, why is my balance not reflecting previous payments? That's all I want to know. I don't care about a damn special, right? Anywho, the last thing is build self worth in your children. The origins of low self worth can often be traced back to the behaviors of adults in childhood, even if they were well meaning. If you have children, it's important to actively work toward building their self esteem rather than rewarding them from external factors such as appearance or winning sports, irrelevant stuff, fluffy stuff, right? It's for me, it's about uh, my children, my child. Like I got a 2-year-old now. She's almost 3. I got a 2-year-old now. So the focus is on conduct. The focus is on sharing. The focus is on understanding your behavior and the consequence of particular behaviors, right? She's damn near potty trained, right? She's gone. She's being more consistent with it. She's finally wearing her panties. She loves wearing her panties, so it's part of her development. She sees. Oh, I got these on. I see mommy and sissy with them on. I got them too. It's not a. So it's how she begins to see herself, right? It's how she begins to see herself rewarding at the proper times, right? Disciplining at the proper times, knowing that this may not, even though because the behaviors will be repeated. So it's not always a matter of, bam, 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 bam. It's a matter of, okay, so what happened there? Why didn't you go to the party? Right? And helping her to think you had a choice. Right? What happened? Why did you choose to just keep playing and pee on yourself and not go to the party? You were doing so good. So, that's where the investment happens. Right? And a lot of our children are not growing up with, valuing themselves, whereas they just think it's just nothing. It's just, what is this? Get a job, make money, get some toot in them. Right? No, you're worth more than that. Start a business, right? Write a book, do some things with all of that you feel, that you think, that you know. Do something with it. What do you think you can do with that? It sounds like a book to me. Encourage that, right? Like you just know it's just not about having a 9 to 5 and a nice wit. It's you're more than that. There's a purpose that you're here for. Find that purpose, right? The 2-year-old likes to sing. She just makes up songs. Yeah, we just kind of she pulls a song out of thin air. She sings herself to sleep every night. So you gotta get the microphone waiting for it. I think I already recorded a voice to put on an upcoming track, but it's things like that, right? Um, Even if they're older children, right? They still need to maintain that. Sometimes it's hard when they get into their struggles. They begin to see what parenting is really like, and they feel like they feel the struggle on their weight, but then it's like I can't tell mom or dad this, but we know. But it's a matter of even if they're older, help them out with that. With some positive affirmations. Like, girl, I was, and you used to act, and this is what I did. It's a personality clash. So, what happens, that's why me and you were at odds so much. That's why we argue so much, because, you had this value of this particular thing, and I didn't value it in the same way. And that's usually where conflict comes in. Right? So you help them to understand, well, our difficulty wasn't just based in the fact that I didn't like you. You're my child. I love you. But maybe I didn't handle it well. Maybe I should have done more work in that area so I could have helped you more then. But I have the knowledge now, so I'll try to give it to you now, I guess, in a sort. But you understand what I'm saying? So you just look at those kind of things, and no, you're doing great. It's parenting is not easy. Nothing easy about parenting. Nothing. Especially when you got so much unresolved stuff about your own damn childhood. That you're carrying around. It's just you got to free yourself. So we're going to stop there. It's listen. I always say that. There's so many things that you could be doing on a Saturday morning. For some reason, you here with me. I don't know why, but I just do my best. I keep, I was told that this is my ministry, and I've taken it on as such. I take it seriously. We laugh, we joke, we cry together, but most importantly, we grow together, because that's what Daddy's Right Here Incorporated is about. Personal growth and human development, understanding yourself, understanding the challenges of raising a child, understanding the challenges, the unresolved trauma. So, the content of my shows are trauma informed. I understand clearly that there is unresolved trauma within all of us. The smallest thing that took you off course, no matter what it was, right, has entered into your adult life, still causes you difficulties from time to time, right? Wife and I were sitting on the patio last night. We were talking, and a 2-year-old was supposed to be eating, but she drank all her juice, and we were talking about how as kids, like we were told to eat our food first, and then you get your juice, right? And she was talking about how, right, like she still does that today, that she eats her food first before she, drinks her beverage. So we got to look at all those things, things. Listen, we all got stuff, man. We all got stuff. So when you want to beat somebody over the head because they're acting out on their stuff, it's you're beating yourself over the head. And especially when there's a child involved, you're beating yourself in the head because it's going to come back on you. It's going to present itself. It's going to rear its ugly head at the most inopportune moments. Whenever, I don't know when an opportune moment is, a good time, but that's when it shows up at the most inopportune moments, right? When you're trying to gain control of a situation with the child, and now here it comes. So it's about always looking at yourself and growing. Is this who you really are? Or is this who you are because of unresolved? Because of unresolved, you know? Man, listen, it's a great day to be alive. Thank you, as always, for your continued support. Anyone new has just started tuning in. Thank you. Make sure you check out aleemforyou.com, aleemforyou.net, and get some of our product. Y'all have a great day. I'm your host, as always, Sabir Aleem. Peace. Name of this song is titled Trick, from the album You Want to Be Me. Stay tuned for new music going in the lab right after this show. Woo!
She'll make your dreams come true, doing things your woman won't do.
She's out of sight. She's your ride or die tonight.
She's turning heads.
She's mending all their beds and a la carte. She's just breaking hearts.
In her darkest hour,
She will call your phone.
she knows she's got the
Power, if she doesn't care, sit home with your sister. She'll make you miss her. You didn't pick her. She's a trick.
With your sister, she'll make you miss her. You didn't pick her. She's a trick.
New music coming. Hey, make sure y'all go check me out. Aleem for you. Yeah.
He's got all the pain. Where's the finest club? Long giving pain. The lady's something so sad. All the paper chaser willing to delay. He'll make it rain. Something he can't afford. He goes home broke.
And he leaves him with no reward.
He turns to his love has come and gone.
A mystery. Treated him like a pawn.
With your sister, she'll make you miss her. You didn't pick her. She's a trick. With your sister,
Hey, make sure you
she'll
listen
make you miss her.
to the lyrics of this song.
You didn't pick her.
You really gotta listen to the lyrics of this song, because what you think the song is saying ain't what it's saying. So you really need to listen to it so you have an understanding. Because all you hear right now is she's a trick. Listen to the song. Every song I write has meaning. You gotta listen to it. I ain't one of them, tricks and hoes kind of writing people. I don't do that. That's demeaning. It's degrading. You need to listen to the song.
She's bringing home and breaking hearts. At 1 a.m. she's at the club and her
Lurking stars.
she's showing up and crying hard. Whoever without can be with her.
Till dawn.
You're almost there.
Just one more drink. She passes by. I give you
At 6 weeks, closing time. Now she's in your face. It's
riding time. You're at her place.
with your sister.
She'll make you miss her. You didn't pick her. She's a trick. Twisted sister. She'll make you miss her. You didn't pick her. She's a trick. Trick. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. I'm your host as always, Sabir Aleem. Y'all have a great and wonderful weekend. Be thankful for this day because somebody didn't get it.
One night stand was all he wanted. Little did he know. She hunted what he wanted and took off his dough. He fell the 60 weight, and now he's a sneaky lick. His
Calls
calls
her neighbors, now he's on the parade.
his phone's on vibrate. Miss text and call. His woman would answer. Now he's on pause. He already had him here and there.
Never saw her disappear.
Twisted sister, she'll make you miss her. You didn't pick her. She's a trick. Twisted sister, she'll make you miss her. You didn't pick her. She's a trick. 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 Trick.
Don't forget to find something that you enjoy doing. Do it. Become proficient in it. It will make you feel so much better. So when those conversations come, your level of confidence is booming. It's banging. Exercise. Surround yourself with some positive people, man. Close up that circle. Y'all have a great one. Peace.